there was some technical glitch where everything seemed to work out right. Someone up above stopped the rain. But then we don't have sound, so now we just have to yell and get you guys a lot closer, which is better anyway. God bless you all for coming. I know it's a busy time and busy for all of you, but we have a lot to be thankful for. And I, as president of the National Organization for Marriage, I was honored to be able to serve on the Stand for Marriage Maine Committee, Executive Committee, along with some of the folks who are going to speak today. And I have to say, having been in California and having gone through the Proposition 8 fight, question 1 was one of the best experiences of my life, and I was honored to be able to be in the state of Maine and to work with you and to have a victory. So thank you. But as great as the victory was for question 1, as great as the victory was for Proposition 8, the fact is that there are still attempts throughout our country to say, your vote doesn't matter. Your civil right to stand up for something as simple as the definition of marriage doesn't count. Instead, either a legislature with folks making backroom deals with special interest groups who put in tons of money into elections, or courts and judges who think that their view of marriage is more enlightened than yours, that their understanding of how marriage can be redefined is what should be the law of the land, and they don't care that in 31 of 31 states, every time we've had the chance, we have won. And the definition of marriage is won. And that's because of people like you. Because the marriage issue is an issue where it is so clear that many of the elites have one view of marriage. They think that they have the sophisticated view, the view that it really doesn't matter, a man and a woman. It can be two, and some are now saying it can be more than two. And that those of us that think otherwise are somehow living in days gone by. But you know what? I believe that marriage, standing up for marriage, and marriage itself is the future. Why? Because only cultures and societies that understand that there's something beautiful, something unique, something special about unions of husbands and wives, that no other union, no other relationship is the same. Only those cultures, only those societies can grow and thrive and be good. And so when you hear from folks, whether it's in your office or in the op-ed in the newspaper or wherever you read it, that somehow it's discriminatory to believe and stand up for what every known culture for all of human history has been willing to stand up for. When they tell you standing up for this is the equivalent of bigotry, don't be cowed. Don't be silenced. Understand that you're standing up for a great, great good. And that's why we're here in Maine. Because in Maine, unlike many states, you have the opportunity to say to your legislature, no, no, we have the say. And through the people's veto, by an even larger margin than California passed Proposition 8, you passed question 1. And you, the people of Maine, are the perfect example of the power of American democracy, of the power of the 14th Amendment, of the power of the right to vote, of the fact that we don't have to bow down before our robed masters. We don't have to say to our legislators, well, if you think it's best. We have the right as free people to stand up and vote and have our say. Now, we're going to have a lot of great speakers today, and some of them, as I said, I was able to work closely with, and I miss being in Maine. I was here a lot more during question 1. The first of these became a very close friend through the question 1 process. And, the way a lot of these sorts of efforts work, it's not the way you might think. You know, there's a bunch of, you know, I don't know, bigwigs in a room somewhere in Washington D.C. saying we've got this thing all plotted out. We know we're going to go to Maine next. That's not the way it works. Our opponents sometimes act that way, but instead it was Bob Emmerich who said it looks like the legislature is going to move. They're going to pass this. They don't care that the people are against it, and when that happens, we need to be ready to get the signatures to put this on the ballot. And so, along with the Catholic Conference, Mark Muddy, we formed Stand for Marriage Maine. Frank Schubert came, who had helped in Proposition 8 to help in Stand for Marriage Maine. And it was a long fight, but it was Bob who was the eternal optimist. He kept standing up. He kept saying, I know the people of Maine. I know they're going to support this. And so it's my honor to introduce Pastor Bob Emmerich.